I just wanted everybody to know that our president, Tom Blackburn, and Dr. Atha, our superintendent, are at a national school board meeting in New Orleans as we speak. I spoke with Dr. Atha this morning, and we're having a great meeting and getting a lot of education as well as good food, so which you're supposed to do in New Orleans. So, all right. Before we get started, I need an approval of the agenda, please.
We approve the agenda with the following amendment. Additional certified and classified personnel actions for considerations, item E3.
Second. Motion by Jean, second by Laura. Any discussion? All those in favor signal by raising your hand. Motion carries. All right, public comments. Ronnie Knight and Delana, thank you, Ballinger are here to speak on behalf of the KNEA.
Wants to go up there?
Please.
I'm Ronnie Knight, and I am actually the KNEA board member for Southwest Kansas.
And I'm Delana Billinger, and I am the KPAC for Southwest Kansas.
And so we were actually in Topeka this weekend for our representative assembly when we had all the fun excitement at the legislation. And the vote didn't turn out the way we wanted it to by any means, but the experience was once in a lifetime. It was, I don't know, almost humbling, I guess. Yeah. It was amazing. Delana's son lives in Topeka.
And when we left, he went back up for us, and he supported us. And he even got to talk to John Dahl. And the one thing he said he was really thankful for is John and Russ Jennings both did not back down whatsoever. In fact, he had told them that they kept trying to change their vote, and he said, "We're in it for the teachers. Sorry." And so finally, they didn't even try anymore to try to sway their vote at all. They kind of left him alone. But he was so into it. He says, "You know, Mom, maybe I should become a legislator." He said, "I really kind of like this debating stuff that's going on." And he says, "But they need to really know what's really going on." And so he probably did talk to some of the others, because we even got to talk to some of the other legislators that weren't from our area. The one nice thing is Friday night when we got into town, Ronnie was already at her meetings. And so I text John and I asked him, I said, "Hey, we're in town. Are you in session?" He said, "Yeah, we are." I said, "Well, can we come watch?" He said, "Sure." Well, I've never been there before during session. Well, all of a sudden we're in there and our phones are on vibrate or silent. He calls me and he's on the floor and I'm like, "John, are you supposed to do this?" And he's like, "Well, hey, we're going to be done in about an hour. Would you like a tour?" I said, "Well, yeah." So afterwards we got a tour of the Capitol while we were there and different things. So it was an awesome experience. And to have all the teachers in the background, and I don't know if you've been on Facebook or Twitter and all those, just seeing the shots of all the teachers behind them was amazing.
They would walk in and look at me and just,
Wow.
and it was all red on Saturday. Now Sunday there was a little bit of a variety, but
Yeah.
It was all red on Saturday. So, and even last night they had carpools from Wichita and Manhattan to go reinforce those of us that had to leave. So it was an amazing experience. We have a little press release we thought we'd read.
It says KNEA members show passion and dedication throughout the week in fighting to keep their rights to advocate for their students' needs with retribution. Once the full language of the bill has been reviewed by KNEA's legal team, we will have further comment. Today's teachers are teaching and students are learning, because that is what we do. We teach kids regardless of the attacks on our profession. In the meantime, we are asking members, teachers, and public education supporters to contact Governor Brownback and tell him the following. We expect you, Governor Brownback, to veto this bill as it diminishes teachers' abilities to advocate for their students without fear of retribution.
And a really cool thing, our shirts all said "raise your hand," and they were all red. So I hung mine on my classroom door today, and I wore dressy red, you know. And anyway, I walked out of the gym, and I had my kids just circle around at my door and wait on me. I was talking to the principal, and I walked down. My kids are all standing there like this. I started crying. I mean, and I took a picture of them, but my shirt that was on my door said raise your hand, so they did, and I sent it to the KNEA leadership, and they said, "They know?" I said, "No, they're supporting me because it's on my door, and so they're gonna do it. Thank you, because I was in tears. It was very cool. But anyway, we can give you any information you want, but the experience was amazing. Very neat to see all those teachers come together. It was very neat.
Well, thank you for sharing your story, and I'm so glad that you got to participate in that and have that experience. A lot of power and control going on in that room, I'm sure. I've never been there, nor has been there recently. But
Well, and John Dahl, I think he was kind of excited we were there, because like, somebody walked up, talked to him, point to us, and we'd all wave, you know?
Wow.
But we had 2 rows just from Garden City, so that was kind
that's
of cool.
great. For you
Those
guys.
seats are horrible, they're like this big.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, members? Or any questions?
I just had a comment. I just think that, from our board's perspective, that it's important for the staff to really understand that we're very supportive of them regardless of how things turn out at other levels. So, we really appreciate everything that our teachers do.
And
Thank you.
we
And
actually said that, but not too loud, but
Yeah.
we were like, this isn't, yes, it's a huge issue, but in our district, it's a little bit.
And we work well with everyone, so that helps, because not all districts are like our district.
Exactly.
Which
We're blessed
makes
in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we are.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other comments? Any reports? All right, let's get on to recognition of the Garden City High School wrestling team. Carlos Perito, would you like to introduce your team?
Well, I'll get Carlos.
Okay.
Well, while they're getting themselves together, the team together, et cetera, I'm Mark Segovia,
Yes.
athletic director at Garden City High School. I get the privilege and honor of working with these types of young people every day, but most importantly, their leaders, their coaches. We have a lot of champions at Garden High and within our district, and we're very blessed to have this group with us tonight and to honor them. It's very tough to win a state championship, let alone 2 in a row. You know, and these guys are really in position to do it again next time, make it a three-peat. But I'm not going to steal all the luster. I just want to congratulate them in front of the board and let you all hear from Coach Prieto and let him introduce this group of classic young men. So, Coach Prieto.
All right, thank you. First of all, thank you for having us tonight. I want to introduce my coaching staff. I have one member that couldn't show up tonight. He's working, he's way behind. Coach John Baker, who owns Action Motorsports. But Kevin Perez, Jacob Waller, and my head assistant, Paul Lavin. So without these guys, my job would be very difficult. They do a great job, these boys. Our state qualifiers, state placers, Efren at 106, he was 3rd, step out. He'll be back next year, he's just a junior. At 113, Michael Prieto, state champion this year, just sophomore, be back next year as well. 126, Thomas Marquez, sophomore, be back with us, state qualifier. 138, Tevin Briscoe, step out. State champion, 2-time state champion, just a junior. Let's see, 152, Jesse Nunez, a freshman, he was 5th this year for us. At 160, Zach Finch, plays 4th for us, he's just a junior as well. And our big boy, Montana Fuller, was state runner-up this year. That's the pay weight. He's a senior. We're gonna miss all these kids. We're gonna miss our seniors. Chris Adler was also state qualifier. He was unable to show up. He's working. Zeke Herrera, a freshman, qualified at 182. Sammy Reyes, a senior, ended up taking 3rd this year. He's second. I'm sorry, that's right. 3rd last year, 2nd this year, to the same kid. And who else we missing? Vinny Rodriguez, who's playing baseball, and he's a freshman too. So as you can see, and Alec Castillo, who ended up in 4th place, and he's just a sophomore. So we're a young team, and the expectations are high, but at the same time, that's what we tell the boys. You know, expect great things, and great things will happen. So anyway, that's a little bit about us.
Great, well, thanks for your hard work and dedication. It really looks like you're poised for a three-peat, so keep work. That's awesome. On average, how many pounds do you guys weigh now more than your wrestling class? 10, 15? 20. 20?
Once they start working out, though, the weight comes off, so it's not that they're cutting that much weight. So, any other questions?
And our varsity team was also selected to be all academic team as well.
That's great. That's awesome. You guys need it. Good job. 2.5. Good job. Thank you so much. Good job. Sit up. All right, moving on to recognition of KBBS radio and BBS TV students that received awards at the Kansas Association of Broadcasters competition in 2014. Is Shelby here?
Yep, I'm Steve Nordby. I'm the Associate Principal of Arts and Communication. And this last spring, students from Garden City, Buffalo Broadcasting participated in the state competition sponsored by the Kansas Association of Broadcasters. And, excuse me guys, and they were awarded with numerous state awards and accolades. I believe 17 different entries were awarded, were recognized along with 10 that were deemed as state champions. So to introduce the students and talk a little more about their awards, sponsors Chewy Bernal and Shelby McNutt.
Like Mr. Norby said, we had won 17 awards, which is more awards than any other high school in Kansas. We had more state champions than any other high school in Kansas, and it's been that way for the past 8 years. We've had more consecutive championships than anybody else. The students I'd like to recognize, for radio, 62nd PSA state champion Josh Dursick had a PSA about texting and driving. 32nd state champion for PSA, Felipe Rodriguez. He had one about safe driving. Nevia Dela Cruz is state runner-up. She's not here today. And she was also our state champion in state promotion for our new radio station, KBFZ, which is kind of a big deal that we're getting into a whole new radio station. We got out in January that we had applied for a low-power FM station, and were granted it on 101.1 FM. So that's coming up hopefully this next August. And she promoted that. Our state champion for public affairs program is Vicki Bridges. Did Buffalo Forum, which is a debate show. Paige McKinley. She was state runner-up for Hard News Package. Did about a Chief 3000. Josh Wadle, who's not here, for Enterprise News Package. Did it about our JROTC program. Nevia Dela Cruz is not here. Did it about state news feature. Did it about me returning back to work. A complete sports feature. Alicia Saucedo did it over the baseball team and kind of their return to winning ways, hopefully. Matt Merez did a state news feature about the Rocky Weldon Invitational. Was state runner-up in that category. Our state champion sportscast, Juan Maldonado and Cooper Livermore. Let me get out of your way. DJ Personality Air Check, Paige McKinley, for her show that she did. Also, state runner-up for radio play-by-play, Juan Maldonado and Cooper Livermore, for a game they did against Ulysses. Leslie Resendez was our state champion in entertainment program. She's not here. Our state runner-up was our video productions class from last year, and Paige McKinley was part of that. And for TV, our state runner-up and station promotion announcement was Nikki Cedillo. She did one about, again, KBFZ LP, which is our news radio station. And state champion in news anchor performance is Annalise Parr, Newscaster of the Year.
Ooh, wow.
So we're very proud of what they've been able to accomplish this year, and we're going to have bigger numbers next year, and hopefully we have more state champions next year.
Great, thank you, Jesse. Thank you for talking about texting and driving. Good job. Shelby, did you want to say? Oh, okay. Shelby declined the opportunity to talk for broadcasting, so you're one on me. I also want to thank the support team, the families that are over here. That was just about as impressive as the students themselves. So thanks for supporting the kids. All right. Well, we are going to move straight into Florence Wilson's elementary school building presentation. It is here. Yep. While they're getting this set up, it looks like a familiar presentation that I've seen before.
Okay. It's modified.
Which is pretty impressive, so get ready, guys. It's going to be pretty awesome. But I want to take this opportunity to let you know that Florence Wilson is one of the 4 schools that are going to represent USD-457 as a model school for our district. So that's a pretty nice achievement, and I'm proud of you. So
Very
the floor
excited.
is yours.
Very excited about that opportunity. I'm Connie Proct. I'm the principal at Florence Wilson, and with me tonight I have our building leadership team, Chris Corby, who's a 2nd grade teacher, Carrie Otero, who's our literacy coach, Kayla Coleman, one of our resource teachers, Jennifer Armstrong, an interventionist, Jan Feld, another interventionist, and Mary Beth Harms, special ed resource teacher. And we're going to start with just telling a little bit about our school. Our student enrollment is approximately 370 kids, as all schools in Garden City. That changes day by day. Our ELL population is 36.31%. Our economically disadvantaged population is 62.8%. Students with disabilities, 11.53%. Our migrant population is 7.2%. Our Hispanic population is 57.64%.
Okay, and then here we have some of what we use for our plan for a successful school. In our building, we implemented the walk to intervention model. Our entire school at some point during the day is participating in an intervention group. We utilize the multi-tier system of support, or MTSS. All of our decision making is done through data. No more I think or I feel. We have data to back up what we're doing. We work on strengthening our Tier 1 instruction and make sure that we're using research-based materials in Tier 1, 2, and 3. We really try for an effective use of resources and ongoing professional development, and something in our building that we've worked very hard on is building relationships between students, parents, teachers, and the community.
These are just some pictures of some of the things that our teachers are doing in our building. We've got one of our teachers using metacognition, which is teaching the kids how to think about their thinking. We've got our math teacher working with a student on CGI, which is cognitively guided instruction. And we've also got some reading posters that our teachers have up in our buildings.
And as Mary Beth said, we work very hard to build relationships in our building. And one of the ways we do that is with our adult encouragers. Every adult in our building has a student assigned to them for them to be a mentor for. And they spend time with this child and just give them a little TLC, little extra attention that some of the kids do need.
Another piece of that building relationships is the parent engagement. We've worked really hard at trying to bring our parents in and help them to know what's going on and keep them informed. One of those ways is through our kinder enrollment. We have our kinder screening done each spring, and the parents and the children come in and we assess them. And then we go over the results with the parents so that they're well informed.
And then we also go over kindergarten expectations and give them some materials and some ideas with working with their children over the summer. Another thing that we've done is our parent piece to our literacy and math night. We have brought kindergarten parents in, and we had them set goals and gave them some other ideas of working with their children to help improve their scores.
Along with that, we try to bring in our community. We do that by our health and fitness night, and we have people from the community come in and teach our students how to live healthier lives. We have our math and literacy night, and that's just working more on reading and math in a more fun environment. We have our fun night. Again, students are interacting with other families, other community members, and we have our Relay for Life, and we do different activities throughout the year to get our students involved in cancer awareness.
Again, here's just some pictures from our buildings. Here's fun night, or no, fitness night, family fitness night. Here's one of our teachers with her student for the adult encouragers. And here's one of our kindergarten parents meeting with a kindergarten teacher discussing the information packet.
Our walk to intervention model is unique in that we use all staff and students that are involved in children's learning. In the walk to intervention model, we form smaller groups for the tier 1 and 2, and then larger groups for enrichment. And all of our programs are research-based, so we can best meet the needs of all of our students. And our walk to intervention model, we meet 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week to help the students grow.
So like Jan said, our school invested in research-based programs, and then we provided professional development for all of our staff members that do those interventions. We made a plan for our interventions, then we collect our data, analyze it, and form our groups. And then we use the curriculum protocol to assign students to those groups. And then our building leadership team meets and our collaborative teams meet to maintain our fluid groups. And then here's some pictures of our walk to interventions.
Our school really works as a team. Right now we have our paraprofessionals working as an interventionist. They will pull small groups and work on different skills in which they need support. Our special education, our interventionist, and our ESL have partnered up, and we have found a way to meet more of our students in the tier 1 and tier 2 within the general education classroom by working together.
And our collaboration isn't just within the building. We work really hard to collaborate with parents on a regular basis, and that's kind of where our building-wide behavior plan came into play. We use a program called Class Dojo, and it's a way to keep track of student behavior. And we're not talking about just those kids that are frequent flyers in the office. This is another way to also to keep track of those kids that work really hard, that don't normally get the recognition. So it's something we're really passionate about, is keeping that collaboration with parents, letting them know that their kids are doing a great job.
Data drives every decision we make. Everything we do is driven by data. Our interventions, like has been mentioned previously, are formed using universal screeners, and we also use the MTSS quadrant sorts. We progress monitor. We want to maintain those fluid groups. For individual coaching, we sit down and meet with teachers. We analyze classroom level data and set goals. For our grade level meetings, we use data to decide what professional development is going to come into those meetings. We also analyze grade level data and set goals, and we also adjust interventions during that time. Our building leadership team is really focused on continuous quality improvement. We're always looking at that data and setting building level goals, and then we make plans and we implement those things, and then we reflect on it. So it's always looking at the data.
here's just one piece of the data. We've kind of taken a little bit of that data out, but second through fourth grade, this is our MTSS quadrant data. And for those that may not know, quadrant 1 and 2, we really want to get those kids moved up into there. That's where our focus is on. Quadrant 1, it's on comprehension. Quadrant 2, it's on fluency. And quadrant 3 and 4, that's where we're really trying to improve their accuracy. So what you want to see is them move from 3 and 4 up into that 1 and 2. And as you can see, that was our growth from fall to winter. And so we've really done had a lot of movement. And then here's just some examples of the data that we use. Down here is where we use our walkthrough data. And here's our progress monitoring data. Here's our Ames benchmark data. Here's that MTSS quadrant sort that I was talking about earlier. And then up there's our building leadership team sitting at a meeting going over data.
Proof of our success. From 2010 to 2012, Florence Wilson School went from a school on watch to a reward school. And we're very proud of that because there were few selected schools to be reward schools, and we were one. Since 2010, we've implemented our walk-to interventions. Our ESL teachers have transitioned to interventionists, and we have utilized paraprofessionals in an interventionist role. And not only did 94.8% of our students make AYP in 2012, we have shown great success since then. So, do you have any questions for us?
I have a question. I love that you're data-driven and that you're using the data, but are you also looking at the totality and the whole picture too? Because I know some kids, they get there for their Ames test knowing they can't even say the word A or the word the. But when you're working with them during your small groups or something like that, you know, they might just come alive being able to read whatever, or knowing multiplication when they can't add 2 and 2 together during one of their tests as well, just because of test anxiety, a bad day, whatever. So are you also looking, because I know a lot of parents think, oh, well, they're only worried about the test. So, I mean, I just want to, I guess, maybe help those parents that think, oh, it's only about the test, it's only about the data. That's about the kid. So you're looking at the whole picture.
We look at the whole child. We don't just take that test. We sit down and we sit with the teachers, and the teachers have an opportunity to be like, I don't think that score is accurate. I don't think that's an accurate picture of this child. And we'll look back at their progress monitoring. We'll look at other things as well to see, you know, is this a true picture of what this child can do? And of course, we have lots of other things that we do. It's not just the Ames web test. There's DRA, there's QPS. We use a phonological awareness test as well. There's a lot of pieces that come into play when we're grouping our students.
Thank you. I just want to say, I'm going to echo what Laura said. The data-driven, research-based is right up Dr. Data Man Dennis's alley. And there's a reason why this district is a proponent of that, and it works. In 2 years, the change that your school has demonstrated is profound and should be celebrated, and it is, which is great. I also love the piece about parent involvement. A little bit later, we're going to hear about second grade readiness and how we're doing at kindergarten, first grade to get these kiddos on the ground running to educational success. And the parent piece is imperative to that success. So I'm glad to see that you're doing that at your building, because I think that's going to be another key to changing the climate of how we lead and kids learn. And it's another example of just the pure professionalism that your teachers and your leaders in your school have, just like Ronnie and, I'm going to say it right, Delana mentioned earlier. I mean, there is a lot of professionalism from the teachers in our district, and we have a lot to celebrate. So keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Just a quick question. You mentioned in there you're transitioning ESL to interventionists. and that's great. I mean, there's a lot of excitement and success of what you're doing. We do have the ESL component covered, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Oh, yes.
just the environment that you created, I think, has it covered. But it sounds like maybe even multitasking. The ESL focus is broadening out to intervention too, and that's a great thing. So.
Just be more efficient.
Yeah, we just had to find a way to use the resources that become more and more limited every year to meet the needs of our students, which become more and more every year. So that was one way we thought we could do that.
That's great.
Laura has another question as well.
Well, actually, it's a comment. One thing that I really like that you highlighted here is about your interventions. Because when you hear interventions out in the community, they're like, oh, well, I'm so sorry your child's not doing well, that they need to have an intervention. And you're showing that it's not just the kids who need that little bit more help, but it's also for the kids who are doing well. So it's a wide range, and I'm really appreciative that you highlighted that here because, and every school does it a little bit differently, but it's great to be able to say, yeah, those who need a little bit more help, it's more 1 to 3, but the other kids are getting a little extra too during this time. So I'm really glad that you highlighted that and kind of explained that. Thank you for doing that.
Every child at Florence Wilson gets an intervention.
Great. It's customized education.
Yes.
There's no cookie cutter approach to doing this anymore, so, great, thank you. All right, for correspondence, I've got a couple of invitations that the board should know about. The 4th annual Corps of Cadets are inviting us to the 4th annual JROTC Military Ball on April 19th. And if you have an interest in attending, just let me or Joanne know. Garden City LULAC Council is inviting us to the 19th annual academic scholarship reception on Saturday, April 12th at 6 o'clock p.m. And we are also invited to the Garden City High School 20th annual academic lettering ceremony on Sunday, April 27th at 2 o'clock. So if you have an interest or ability to attend any of these events, please let somebody know. Any other correspondence, Dr. Dennis? No, anybody else? Yes, Tim?
Just a awareness, this is National Work Zone Awareness.
Work zone aware, okay.
So when you're driving through the work zones this summer, be aware of the workers that are there. They have families. Slow down, get off your phones and pay attention. And
We should
so
have
all
heard the
this,
PSA on the
all this
texting and
week,
driving out loud tonight.
we're encouraged to wear orange for KDOT workers and appreciate the work they do because they are short-handed. I had a lot of cuts through the state, through the Department of Transportation, and again, when you're driving through work zones, please slow down.
Thank you. Okay, it's time to approve the consent agenda.
I'd like to move we approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second. Motion by Jean, second by Laura. Any discussion? All those in favor signal by raising your hand. Motion carries. Okay, Leanne, are you ready for our curriculum report on second grade readiness?
We are ready. I'm here with another great group of teachers tonight. We have a group of first grade teachers who've been working since October on second grade readiness plan. This goes along with board goal 5.1. And I'm very proud of the work that they have done this year. They have really spent a lot of hours talking, researching, writing things, and talking to their colleagues. So I'm very confident that they've done their homework and they've got a very good plan for you tonight. And I totally support it, and I hope you will too. I would like to introduce them. Angela Ulrich from Alta Brown, you may remember her from the kindergarten group. She was the first grade teacher on that group that would say, you get your students this far and I can take them the rest of the way. Amber Doyle from A. Hubert, she is the person this year that has said the same thing. She's a second grade teacher at A. Hubert, and you teach the second grade, third grade, correct? Okay. Natalie Conradi from Richard Walker, Jessica Perez from Buffalo Jones, Lindsay Torres from Florence Wilson, Helen Strong,
Mayor
Mayor from Georgia Matthews, Gail Jackson from Ginny Barker. So they've got a great presentation for you. I would like to say that Melinda Stewart and Heath Hogan were also as part of that committee, and they all kept us together here, so.
Okay, our goal is to put structures in place so that all of our students are second grade readiness. Another part of our goal is to make the first grade exiting criteria the same among all the schools in our district, and to continue our parent involvement, have schools involved with our parents.
All right, Rick Dufour is an education consultant that started the PLC movement, and so we based our conversation off of his framework. We used him to guide us. We took apart 3 questions. We wanted to know what first grade students needed to know when exiting first grade to help them be more prepared for second grade. We talked about different things that we can do to know if to be sure that they've learned all that they need to know to move on to be successful in second grade. And we looked at the data that we already do and created some other data pieces for it. And we discussed what we're going to do if they don't learn what they need to know to be successful in second grade.
Okay, what we did is, what do we want them to learn? So we sat down, we had a long conversation about this. This was the hardest part, I felt like, trying to find out the basic skills that we would want them to have in order to move on, say yes, they are second grade ready. For the essential ELA skills is to have a solid foundation in phonics, to produce long vowel sounds, produce words with consonant blends, produce words with CVC patterns, produce words with digraphs, to be able to read accurate on a first grade passage, to be able to read with adequate comprehension on a first grade passage, to read 140 high frequency words, read 53 words per minute on a standardized test, segment 49 phonemes per minute on a standardized test, be able to write a complete paragraph. And then for math was to write their numbers to 120, randomly recognize numbers within that 120, show math fluency by recognizing addition facts to 9 in 2 minutes, compare 2-digit numbers, identify place value of 2-digit numbers, and to solve addition story problems with a result unknown.
Can I get you to pause right there? These are great standards, but can you give us a little bit of background on why these specific standards were selected? And this isn't a curriculum. You aren't saying how you want them to learn this. You're just saying you want these to be checked off the box by the time they exit first grade. Right?
Yes.
So I guess why these and not A, B, and C? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, no. What we did is